In a 3,000-year-old temple in Abydos, Egypt, there is a panel of hieroglyphs that stops people cold when they see it. Among the ancient carvings are images that look unmistakably like a helicopter. Next to it, what appears to be a submarine. Beside that, something resembling a modern aircraft. And next to that, what some researchers describe as a flying saucer. How does a civilization with no known aviation or submarine technology carve these images into stone 3,000 years ago? The answer is one of the most fascinating stories in Egyptology. And it's more interesting than either side of the debate wants to admit. The temple of Seti I at Abydos was built around 1290 BC, one of the finest examples of ancient Egyptian architecture still standing. It contains extraordinary painted reliefs and hieroglyphic inscriptions covering nearly every surface. The controversial panel is located on a ceiling beam in one of the temple's outer sections. It shows a series of carved shapes that, when viewed with modern eyes, produce a striking effect. One shape has a rotor and tail configuration that resembles a helicopter. Another is elongated and torpedo-shaped. Others have vague resemblances to aircraft and submarines. The images became widely known in the 1990s when photographs circulated on early internet forums and alternative history sites. They've been cited ever since as evidence of ancient advanced technology, time travel, or extraterrestrial contact. The reality is more grounded, but no less interesting. Egyptologists have a clear explanation for the Abydos hieroglyphs, and it's well supported by evidence. The panel is a palimpsest, a surface that has been reused. When Ramesses II came to power after Seti I, he had many of his father's inscriptions modified to include his own royal titles and cartouches. Workers plastered over sections of the original hieroglyphs and carved new ones on top. Over 3,000 years, that plaster has partially fallen away in places, leaving sections where the original hieroglyphs and the newer ones overlap and blend together. What looks like a helicopter is actually two different sets of hieroglyphs from two different time periods, merging into a single confusing image as the plaster deteriorates. It's not ancient technology. It's ancient renovation work, partially decayed. Here's where it gets more interesting. The palimpsest explanation is convincing, but it doesn't fully satisfy everyone, and for some legitimate reasons. The resemblance to modern vehicles is remarkably specific in some cases. The helicopter shape in particular is strikingly accurate. Rotor, body, tail rotor, all in roughly correct proportion. Skeptics of the palimpsest explanation argue that random overlapping hieroglyphs are unlikely to produce images this specific purely by accident. Additionally, the temple at Abydos contains other unusual elements that mainstream archaeology doesn't fully explain, including astronomical alignments and symbolic imagery that suggests a sophisticated understanding of celestial mechanics. None of this proves ancient aircraft, but it does suggest that our understanding of ancient Egyptian knowledge may still be incomplete in ways we haven't fully mapped. The Abydos hieroglyphs are a perfect case study in how we look at ancient civilizations. When we see something that resembles modern technology in an ancient context, we have two instinctive reactions. One group says it must be evidence of advanced ancient or extraterrestrial technology. The other group dismisses it entirely and moves on. Both reactions miss something important. The truth, that ancient peoples were sophisticated, knowledgeable, and capable of things we still don't fully understand, without needing to invoke aliens or time travel, is more remarkable than either extreme allows. The Egyptians who built the temple at Abydos understood mathematics, astronomy, architecture, medicine, and engineering at levels that continue to impress modern researchers. They didn't need helicopters. What they built with what they had is extraordinary enough. The Abydos hieroglyphs are probably not ancient aircraft, but they are a window into something real and remarkable. A civilization so sophisticated that even its renovation work, decayed over 3,000 years, can stop a modern viewer dead in their tracks and make them question everything they thought they knew. That's not nothing. That's actually the whole point. Subscribe for a new ancient mystery every week.